Another big part of that budget affects hundreds of social service agencies across the state and right here in Naperville. State leaders have come up with a solution to avoid cutting $2 billion from social service providers, keeping some organizations that depend on state funding open for business. NCTV 17's Elitsa Bizios has a look at how those groups locally are taking that news.
After more than a month of debates, Illinois has a temporary budget. For NCO Youth and Family Services, this could mean a sigh of relief. But Executive Director Ron Hume is unclear if state youth and prevention social service providers will receive full funding.
Whether or not this is going to really help to restore that and mitigate it some, I don't know yet. We're going to have to wait and see.
On July 1st, lawmakers slashed funding for more than 1,100 social service organizations, pushing them in the red by as much as 75%. Governor Pat Quinn had been rallying for a 50% tax hike leading up to that doomsday, but gave up the increase idea since he couldn't nab enough support in the state House or Senate. The temporary 5-month budget would pool $2 billion to pay for social service cuts from the state's pension reserves. That means human service providers would lose only up to 20% of their funding.
I'm hopeful that
before passing a budget, local lawmakers spoke to members of Naperville's business community at a luncheon. State Representative Mike Connolly says in the next 5 months, legislators need to come up with a joint reform solution or Illinois will have the same problem next year.
And allow us time to sit down and have a real discussion that has all 4 caucuses involved.
But with more than $9 billion of debt, State Senator Linda Holmes insists reform is not the only answer. She says legislators need to make the tough vote for a tax increase.
We can't cut our way out of this mess. It'd be nice, but we can't. There aren't enough cuts that we can make to do it.
As for NCO Youth and Family Services, Hume challenges leaders to solve the issue so they don't have to increase their clients' fees or ever have to face this issue again.
People have been laid off. Many people have had services discontinued, and you can't just keep doing that to us, please.
I'm Elitsa Bizios for Naperville News 17.
Governor Quinn hopes to revisit the idea of a tax increase in November.